You've just handed out the glue sticks. All seems calm until you hear a chair scrape back, a voice raise, and a child shout, "He took mine!" Suddenly, that peaceful craft session has morphed into chaos over Pritt stick possession. What just happened? A classic trigger moment. Blink and you miss it. In this video, we'll explore how to spot the moments that tend to spark behaviour challenges and what you can do to avoid or reduce them before they escalate. Here are 6 ways to do that. 1. Know your tricky times. Transitions, unstructured time, group work, waiting. These are high risk times for many children. Get into the habit of scanning the timetable each day and identifying the trickiest moments. This helps you prepare ahead of time. Because if you'll actually set your subconscious brain on a search, and if you get into the habit of that, it will be looking in the background. You won't even be aware of it. It will be looking for the tricky times. So if you start to do it consciously, you'll set that in motion. 2, notice patterns, not just incidents. So is VJ always unsettled after lunch? Does Amanda always react during writing tasks? Behaviour is often a signal. Look for patterns that tell you when children are most vulnerable to triggers, because that's gold dust for proactive support. If you know what causes an issue, you can put something in place to prevent it. 3, minimise downtime. So long waits, vague instructions, lost pencils, all of these open the door for frustration, distraction, or conflict. Helping a child to get ready faster, having a task while they wait, or even just narrating what's happening. We're just waiting for 2 more to finish, then it's your turn. Can keep things steady. So, pencils that need sharpening. Oh my goodness, not enough pencils. All that wastes such a lot of time. So these are tiny things that you can sort out, when you have a free moment. Make sure that the pencil pots are replenished so that there isn't that sort of distraction. Because believe you me, children will use it if they can find something that is really easy to create a distraction. They will. So minimize all that. 4, pre-warn, preempt, prepare. After play, it's quiet reading. So when you come back into class, I'll be asking you to get your reading books from your bags row by row. Giving students a gentle heads up before a change can soothe anxiety and reduce resistance. Especially for neurodivergent children, this tiny tweak can mean the difference between calm and chaos. 5, use visual timetables to create certainty. So for many pupils, especially those with anxiety, autism, or just general difficulties with transitions, not knowing what's coming next is a major trigger. Even if the whole class uses one, having an individual version on a desk or on your lanyard can make a big difference. So pointing to the current and next activity helps reduce anxiety during transitions. So you can say, we're here now, then it's PE. You've got your kit, remember? It's not just about pictures, it's about preparing minds before their behaviour needs managing. And 6, don't take it personally, even when it feels personal. If a student lashes out at you during a trigger moment, it's not about you, it's about how overwhelmed they are. Your calm presence is a protective factor, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. And I mean, I know I was employed in a primary school to work with a child who had unpleasant abuse when he was very young. He didn't trust adults, and I remember him. We were lining up to go to assembly, and he suddenly remembered that he'd left something. It was a pencil of his in another room. It was a room that we went into before the school day started. And he looked at me and said he wanted to go and get it. And I was thinking, oh, we've got to get to assembly. So in my mind, I was about to say to him, I'll go and get it. But I didn't speak quickly enough for him. That was a trigger. And he picked up a ruler and threw it at me. You feel a bit foolish in front of, because the teacher looked at me, all the other children looked at me. And in the moment, I felt like it was very, very personal. But it wasn't. It was how he was feeling. He remembered he'd left his pencil and he wanted to go and get it. I learned from that. I learned that, before we left that room, we checked, did he have everything? I learned that if he asked me if he could do something, I would answer straight away. That moment taught me a lot. It did feel very personal at the time, but looking back, I can see it absolutely wasn't. It was very personal to him about how he was feeling, but it wasn't about me. So here's your mindset tip. If you're here's how to shift your perspective if you're finding this tricky. The goal isn't to prevent all challenging behaviour, because you can't do that. But if you understand it early enough, you can respond kindly and helpfully, and gradually you will see more and more things that could be trigger moments, and you will learn to prevent more and more of it. But initially, just understand it, and that will help you immensely. Now, just a short amount of action. Choose one child you support and jot down when tricky moments tend to happen. Just noticing the timing or triggers is a brilliant first step in feeling more in control. Because a whole new world will start to open up to you. Where you thought, you were at the mercy of this child's behaviour, you're going to see that you're not, because you're going to be able to see the times, when there's too much time, when they're maybe standing in line and got a thing about wanting to be first, so they're fidgety because they're in the middle of the line, all kinds of things that cause children an issue that you can sort of restructure so that you avoid it. And in the end, they'll forget the behavior, if you see what I mean. If you can restructure things, you can, so then you avoid the trigger moment. Then the trigger moment almost gets forgotten, and that behavior goes away. So you don't need to be a psychic, just observant and kind. Every time you spot a trigger before things kick off, that's a quiet victory. And even when you miss it, you're still learning, you're still doing better than you think. So go back to that moment when the child threw the ruler at me. It felt personal, felt bad. I'd missed the trigger moment, but it meant I knew it for next time, and I sorted it. So you're definitely doing better than you think. Now, in video 5, we will look at consistency, why it matters, and how to achieve it. So I look forward to seeing you in video 5.